Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on the War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Paleotrex. Now, this guy is one of the fossilizers, which are pretty much the Kingdom version of Siege's weaponizers. So yeah, this guy does come apart and become weapons and armor for other figures, but we'll get into that later on. For now, look, this guy is a friggin' dinosaur fossil. I mean, that is awesome. I mean, we've had Transformers turn into dinosaurs ever since G1 with the Dinobots, but this is the first time we've had Transformers turn into actual fossils. I mean, seriously, this is crazy and I love it. Other people might not be that keen on it. Well, other people are definitely not keen on that, but I'm definitely really enjoying this. But before we have a look at the actual figure, of course, like always, we have the box to attend to. Well, like my previous Kingdom review, Warpath, which you can see here, also I rearranged my boxes. We can see that the window is pretty small, like all Kingdom boxes. We can see his name there. And a quick fun fact, I recently learned that I think Paleotrex's name was actually a portmanteau on paleontologist and T-Rex. At least I'm pretty sure that's how he got his name. So that's pretty cool. Here we have them in both modes. The little side view, which doesn't really show the robot that well because he's actually on the front of the box. Transformers logo, of course. Generations. It's the deluxe class. We have the back of the box. 32 steps. We have him in his robot mode. Shows how he disassembles. Shows him with combining with Warpath, which I'll show that later on. At the top of the box. And it shows that he's actually a Predacon. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And with my copy of Paleotrex, the card I got was a Black Arachnia. I mean, at least it wasn't another art card, so at least I'm getting a new card for my second Kingdom figure. I will get duplicates soon though, I bet. But, as you can see, pretty shiny. Peeling this off, trying not to peel the actual face off entirely. You can see, well, the actual face thing says that she's a Predacon. Underneath, we can see the Maximal symbol, because from what I can remember, this says becomes a Maximal. And I'm pretty sure those are transmetal colors. Even though that's her original body, those are her transmetal colors. And that's when she did become a Maximal in the original Beast Wars series, so that's a pretty cool reference. And in the background, I can also see Scorponok, Dinobot, and Waspinator. Also, I can't wait for Kingdom Waspinator to come out. Even though I don't have any other, well, actual Beast Wars Kingdom figures, I am considering getting Primal right now. So, I am considering getting some of the Beast Wars Kingdom figures right now, but, well, back to Paleotrex, which, as I stated, he's a dinosaur fossil, or I guess, in this case, a T-Rex fossil, and I just love how this looks. I mean, one complaint is, he can be pretty hard to pose. I mean, if I try and get him standing like this, he just falls over. So it's just best to sort of stand him up like this. So he actually remains standing. So it can be hard to pose him but I'm falling over. So, and there is a figure stand port right in the front, so I guess if you really wanted to. But, of course, my figure stand broke, so, yeah. So, looking at the actual fossil itself, we can see what looks like mini ports. And I'm just wondering, just give me a moment. I'm just going to use strip mine here from Cybertron Quick Mix. That's the nearest mini-con I can find. Let's see if this works. It looks like parts of him are mini-con compatible. So, yeah, technically he is mini-con compatible, which I think is really cool. But, yeah, quick 360. We can see some cool detailing and weathering. I mean, you can see the rib cage here. We've got the actual skull, which just reminds me of the Jurassic Park logo. I mean, let's just have a look at that. That is awesome. Sure, the head is visible, but well. And well, that's pretty much all I have to say about the fossil mode. I mean, I can't really talk about posability because, you know, it just falls over when you try to pose it, but it's sort of articulated. I mean, the legs can move out. It does technically move here and here. These can swivel, so, and the claws can move, so, although I tend to, I'll start again, I can't talk. I tend to more use the articulation for robot mode. But, yeah. Now, before we get onto the transformation, let's have a comparison with another T-Rex transformer I have. The original Beast Wars Megatron. Looks like they're both having standing troubles today. So here we can see a T-Rex fossil next to an actual T-Rex, or at least before they discovered that they had feathers. I miss when dinosaurs were terrifying. But yeah. Now, hopefully one day I will get Kingdom Megatron, the Beast version, so that would be really cool. But right now on eBay they're like £50, and me being a cheap broken freak, yeah. Hopefully in the future though. I do say that a lot, but yeah, I do have quite a poor budget, so. But yeah, before I have a tangent about how crappy my wallet is, let's just get onto the transformation. Although, quick warning, if you haven't seen this guy before, partsformer alert. This guy is 100% partsformer. I mean, if you remember my review on Warpath, you might remember this bit came off in the tank mode and became a shield. That's technically parts forming. Well, this guy is a true parts former. Don't believe me? Well, let's just start. Now, you can start in many different ways, but let's just start pulling things off and you'll see what I mean. So, take this little chest bit off. Let's put it here, and that comes off. Pull the feet off. Pull the tail off. Pull this bit off. Pull the entire skull section off. And now you're left with all this. Which, I suppose if you want to feel like an actual paleontologist, or I can't remember what the actual job is called, then you can actually put it together in dinosaur mode, so you can actually, feel like you're putting it together an actual fossil. So that's another reason why I really like this. But well, to continue the transformation before I forget more job names, take the little dinosaur arms and just move them here. Straighten these out. Turn the legs around and fold these to the back as heels. So now we've got the legs all done. Straighten this out. This just plugs in. Get the head out. Get the dinosaur skull plugged in. I'll turn the head around last because the head actually has a really cool homage to it. Take the little chest plate and plug that in. Take this section and plug it into the left shoulder. Oh, it becomes the left shoulder. Plug it into the left port. That's what I'm trying to say. Take one of the little claws, and it becomes a hand. A creepy looking hand, but a hand nonetheless. Take this section and it becomes the right shoulder. So it's got quite a big shoulder blade. This becomes the right hand. I'm trying to be careful when plugging it in because you can very easily just move this by accident. So just try and be careful. There we go. This becomes a weapon, which I'll show later. Finally, turn the head around, and well, we'll fully show the head later because, well, this is actually a battle mask. So lift the mask up if you want to. That's all I'm going to show it for now. And here we have Paleotrex in robot mode. And yeah, if you hate partsformers, you are not gonna like this guy, but I don't mind. I just think I don't mind it because, keep in mind, this guy does come apart for a reason. And plus, this guy has a really cool looking robot mode. I mean, this guy is actually asymmetrical because, this shoulder's pretty normal looking, but look at this. I just love how it looks. I think a quick 360. You can see the entire dinosaur skull in the back. Now, going back to the head, we can see that it's a pretty cool looking head sculpt. But what I like about it is, you can lift this mask down and, if you haven't seen the original Optimus Primal figure, then you might say that this looks like something. This might look something from. I can't even speak. This might look like something from Crash Bandicoot to you, but to me, this is actually Optimus Primal's mace. You see that? That is a really cool homage, and I really like that. So yeah, they actually designed the head to look like Optimus Primal's mace. And for good reason, which we'll show later on. Now for weaponry, of course, he has the little tail section. Because lots of Beast Wars figures had their tail become a sword. Or a weapon or some kind. It just goes on its hand. It doesn't go in its hand. It just goes on a little port on it. But still, it's pretty cool. Or if you still want to store the sword somewhere, but you don't want to have him hold it, well, you can, like, put it here, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I just found out that there's a little... Oh, sorry, I had to forget by accident. The fan, maybe. But there's a little tab here that goes into here. So there you go, you can actually store the little sword bit somewhere. There we go. So yeah. So let's have a look at articulation. The head can move, but be careful not to stab yourself with the sharp teeth on the battle mask. This arm can, well, come off. Well, it can go 360. You can T-pose, but be careful not to rip the arms off by accident. So technically he can T-pose. Technically he's got an elbow joint, although it's sideways, although he can swivel it. So he does have an elbow. Claws can open, although it's a bit tight. The waist can rotate. Of course, you can do the splits. It's got knees. And strangely for a War for Cybertron figure, no ankle joint. I don't know. But well, this is normally where I'd end the review, but if you remember the back of the box, then, well, you'd know that this guy does come apart and become weaponry. So if we bring back Warpath, we can actually give him a couple of bones, if you will. But yeah, now I'm going to show the two official combinations. There are lots of different ones you can come up with, but I'm just going to show off the two official ones. So at the start, I'm just going to put the mask down. So first of all, pretend that you're Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, and just rip the head off with the spinal cord still attached. So get the arms off. Pretty much pull him apart. Yeah, pretty much just pull him apart like you're going to be transforming him back into his dinosaur mode. But come in here, get these claws back on here. So we've got this going on. Trying to attach all this. Again, like you trying to attach all this again, like the alt mode. Just sorry, I'm just checking the box to see I'm doing it right. Yeah, there we go. It's meant to be like this. So now that we have all this, so we have this little claw backpack, the head which forms a mace, just like Primal's mace, this little shield, this little head, which is meant to be a gauntlet, and his huge axe. We can give all of this to Warpath. So we can attach this onto Warpath's back and give him this crazy, well, claw backpack. Alright, you can sort of adjust it to however you please. Take the shield, attach this onto one of his arms. You can give him the mace, and he holds it just like how Primal holds his mace. Attach this on like how Beast Wars Megatron's little hand works with the dinosaur head. And finally, you can give him this huge axe. And here we have Warpath combined with Paleotrex, or at least in one of the modes. I mean, sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure Warpath would much prefer to shoot at his enemies rather than to swing at them with a huge axe and to grab them with a little backpack claw, but okay then. Now if we just take all this off of Warpath. Come on. There we go. We can also rearrange all this in another way. So once again, we can take the claws off, transform them back into actual claws. Oh, well, the dinosaur feet claws, I mean. Keep this as a backpack. Although with the dinosaur head, we can add this to the battle axe. And then what we do here is we actually add the feet underneath here to Warpath if they want to go on. There we go. So we give Warpath these crazy dinosaur bone stilts, which is already crazy in of itself. We give him the backpack again, which I'll just do off camera because, well, it's going to be easier to do. Oh, there we go. One of the bits came off the door. He's meant to do that for. There we go. The shield can just stay on the arm, or it can. I'll put it on the shoulder this time, so he's got two shoulder shields. The axe goes. Not the axe. The mace actually has to go in upside down this time. Which I don't know why it's not doing that. There we go. But yeah, the mace has to go in upside down because it's going to be the handle for a new huge weapon. And now we have this. I mean, just look at this. I mean, we still have the shield here, we still have the backpack minus the claws because they now form stilts. And we now have this huge fossilized sword. This is just hilarious, and I love this. This isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I definitely love this. Now, if I just take Paleotrex and put him back together, I need to remove all the parts of Warpath first, though. Now, you can do this with other figures. It isn't just Warpath. For example, I'm going to do this with another deluxe figure that I own. So just stay tuned as I do this. Okay. Sorry, my dad was calling on me. But yeah, without any more interruptions from parents, because that was a bit awkward. Here, I also have him with... here, I also have Paleotrex combined with Red Alert. I mean, this will probably just make him paranoid, because maybe Red Alert's scared of heights. So yeah, you can do this with any figure that has the millimeter ports. So unfortunately, you can't really do this with the Beast Wars Kingdom figures. I mean, you can still do the handheld weapons, but you can't give them the ports on the back or the sides, unfortunately. But you can still give them the handheld weapons, so that's still cool. Okay then, and with that we're almost done. I just need to put Paleotrex back together into robot mode. So yeah, this guy is actually really fun. I mean, sure, some people are not going to like these guys, and that's understandable. Partsformers are not for everyone. But, well, I love them just because you can come up with many different unique combinations for them. I was just showing off the official ones, but some people have actually come up with a combined mode with the other fossilizers. So this guy and the other two, what are the names? Wingfinger and Ragdonite. So you can come up with an actual combiner for the fossilizers. That just shows how creative you can be with these guys. Oh, this is Red's gun. I mean, if he wanted to, he could hold it. Now, before I put the head back on, let's have a better looking comparison with Primal's mace. So we can see that Paleotrex's head is actually quite smaller. And See if he can actually hold it. Well, sort of. It's more on a stick, but yeah, Primal can technically hold Paleotrex's head. Although I'd say this is more going to be in scale with Kingdom Primal, which I do really want to get. There we go. Finally, I'm going to lift up the battle mask, because that's how I display him. And with that, that's pretty much all I have to say about this guy. Complaints? Well, it's actually a bit hard to pose him, because as you saw in the dinosaur mode, he can actually fall over pretty easily. Although, he makes up for that with his really cool gimmick. Although, that comes up with another complaint. Seeing how he's a partsformer, you could potentially lose pieces. I mean, I'm not going to lose any pieces because I'm just that careful with him when I transform him. I keep all the pieces together in one space when I transform him, but if you're the kind of guy who just rips pieces off when it comes to partsformers, then you might be in hazard of losing a bit. So, yeah, losing pieces is always a hazard when it comes to partsformers. But, well, do I recommend this guy? If you like the fossilizers, then yeah. I mean, this guy has a really fun gimmick. I mean, you saw it with Warpath, you saw it with Red. Hell, I mean, I was trying it with some other figures. I mean, sure, it doesn't work with some figures. I mean, you can't really do the backpack thing with some guys. I mean, with Prime here, he doesn't have a thing right in the middle, so it's not going to be symmetrical. But, well, you know what I mean. But it can still come up with some crazy combinations. So, if you do like the fossilizers, then I do recommend this guy. But, well, if you're not a fan of partsformers, then maybe not. So, if you don't like partsformers, then I'd say don't get this guy, because, well, this guy is a full-on partsformer. But if you love the fossilizers, then definitely get this guy, because this gimmick is really fun. Well, this has been my review on Kingdom Paleotrex, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.